Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to my Sheltered Perfect Start series. Okay, so we're going to start a new slot. Okay, difficulty is set on normal, which if you change any of these parameters, no leaderboard for this difficulty setting. So we'll change that. There we go. So that leaves everything at standard for normal difficulty, and we go next. Load preset family. Now I've already created my family to match my household. So here we go. Here's my wife. And next, here's me. And next, small eater, by the way, is fairly important for your adults. So George, my second son, is courageous. And Charlie, my first son, is optimistic. Okay, so now that we have that, and for the family pet, we're going to go with a cat. However, you can have a dog, which is allowed to go out on quests with you, scavenging in the wasteland, a horse, which you can ride, but it needs to be fed 3 times a day, and don't forget to build a stable. I haven't tried a game with a horse yet. Apparently it's worthwhile doing, but I stick with a cat, as we have a cat in the house by the name of Julian. Certainly not a ginger tabby, but, you know, it's a cat. So there we go. If the rat catches any rats, it'll be transferred into a freezer, if you have one, of course. So, name Julian. Next. Do you want to play the tutorial? No, we're going to skip that. Okay, so this is it. You're loading into your shelter on your first day. Now, for those that have been watching my Fallout Shelter series, this is a very good game. It's similar to Fallout Shelter in many ways, but different in so many more. So this is it. You're in. You've got your generator for your electricity, which requires fuel. But the first thing to do, you want to upgrade the workbench to level 2. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to upgrade the workbench. This is your most important primary step. Now, I completely missed this the first couple of times I played the game, and my family all ended up dying, dead, or close to. And I found it quite challenging to get the gist of everything that was going on. Now, we've got enough supplies to create a new room, so we're going to do that, add a bit more space. Okay, we need a sleeping bag. You basically need to create a few initial items to satisfy your family's needs in the shelter. So here we go, so it begins. We've managed to find this abandoned war shelter. Maybe with a bit of elbow grease we can get it in good shape. Well, we certainly can, and over this series you will see how to get your shelter into tip-top shape. Now, it's raining on the surface, and that is creating water. So what we want to do is create a water butt. Now, we have one medium water butt with a ability to store 30 water, but you want more straight away. Water is one of your most valuable resources, so to speed up time, here we go. Now, already that is collecting some extra water. Okay, now I've nearly upgraded the workbench. Here we go. Boom, craft item, tier 2. Let's get another water butt straight away. Okay, boom, as we've got rain. Okay, now the stats are thirst, hunger, tiredness, toilet, and cleanliness. Okay, so now this is a simple bucket toilet. So we'll put that, so that's sleep and toilet covered. Okay. And let's have a look. We can make a bed. So we will use our resources to make a bed, because sleeping in a bed is way better than sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor, of course. So we will put the shower in here once we're ready. But obviously Catch is working away, digging in the shelter, setting up that new room. Now, see that rabbit running across the top? I mean, I sped it up there to accelerate the build. But what you also want to do is, as quickly as you can, get a freezer and then a snare trap at the top, which will allow you to collect animals, which will give you meat. And food is one of the very scarce resources at the beginning of the game. So, here we go. Charlie's building a shower. George and me are currently, as you can see, I'm now hungry and tired. So drink water, which is red. Also drink water. So when it's raining on the surface, now this is normal rain, not the irradiated black rain, which will come across later in the game. But when it's raining, it's always advisable to do anything that requires water. So toilet, shower, and of course drinking. Because that water is then replenished into your water butts and allows you to survive dry periods much more effectively. Okay, so sleep is required for 2 of us. Now George is doing all right, so clean the shelter. Charlie's also doing okay, so let's craft an item, and that's going to be tier 2. That's why we upgraded the workbench, and we will put in a bed. Not entirely sure what to do yet, I'm just having a look through, but there's the freezer, so we need 1 motor to be able to construct that freezer. So as of yet, we can't do it. Now we still haven't got a shower, so let's get a shower in. There we go. Now obviously I am tired there, as is Catcher, who is sleeping. And what we will need to do is let's rearrange shelter. This is also very important because what it allows you to do is move everything around so that it gives you the space to be able to move and put in extra stuff. Just that little bit of extra space can mean the difference between being able to put in an extra bed for somewhere to sleep to not being able to do it at all. So we'll put the box, we'll see where it can go. Right, it can go there. Okay, we'll move the clipboard over there. We can't move the pet bowl. That is an immovable object. Now, the cat will need to be fed once a day, and all the pets have different feeding requirements. But now we can put that there, and we can move that over, creating an extra little bit of space. As I said, every pixel counts. Okay, so we can move the first aid kits over there. Okay, that's it, move that there as well. Okay, a little bit of extra space. Okay, now that is basically where it's going to go. Not really much room for anything else. Okay, I still need sleep desperately. I also need food. So let's eat some food. We only have 10 at the beginning. So you only have 10 food, so you do have to watch carefully how you're doing. But now let's see if we can put in the bed. Yes, we can. Fantastic. Okay, so let's put that in, and Charlie's going to go and build that. And it recovers the tiredness much quicker than the sleeping bag. So if you have enough initial resources to do it, sleeping bag and bed, and then when you can, deconstruct the sleeping bag and add an additional bed. Another tip, you will get people coming to your shelter door on the intercom asking to come in. In the initial part of the game where we hear at the start, don't bring on any additional members into your shelter because you're already super tight for resources, which makes it additionally challenging. Now everyone's getting tired now. So he needs the toilet, okay, he needs to sleep. Okay, into bed you go. Okay. Now George there is showing that he's tired, as is Charlie. So Catcher is now up and out of bed. And I am in the main bed, recharging my energy. Now you can let time tick along like this to obviously, if you can't do anything because you have multiple dwellers within your vault shelter who need certain things, you just quite simply have to wait. Now sometimes if multiple stats get into the red, you will be of the position that they might become traumatized or they might become stressed, and you want to try and avoid that at all costs. So here we go, everyone is Looking at the tiredness there, let's bring him out of bed. Let's get him to clean the shelter. Okay, let's let Charlie use the bed. There we go. Okay, so I'm cleaning the shelter. And now let's skip forward a little bit. So we've skipped forward slightly in time. So wash out the toilet. The initial bucket toilet, once it's been used, needs to be washed out for it to be used again. The initial shower obviously is a simple makeshift shower and it works fairly well. Now the next most important thing is expeditions. And you want to do it when their stats are all fairly low, so in the green. So there we go. See how they're doing. Not too bad. Okay. So let's fast forward time. There we go. Okay, stats are still okay. Here's not so much. Okay, so cancel the sleep. Go have a shower with soap. That will bring down the dirt much quicker. Again, soap is a limited supply at the beginning, so you want to use it sparingly when someone's hygiene is very in the red and you don't want to waste too much water. Now, storage crates are very important. Before you do that initial quest, you want to make sure that you've got additional storage to be able to store the stuff as it's brought back into the shelter. So let's get this storage crate constructed. There we go. Okay, so his energy's good enough. Right, you go and take a shower with soap as well, seeing as you're in the red. Fill the cat's bowl, because the cat is now hungry, and as you can see, we're now down to 8 food. But the construction of that storage is nearly complete. There we go. Okay, so now we want to set up an expedition. So you use the arrows there to choose the family members, and then on the map you decide where you're going to go, and it will tell you how much water it's going to use. So this is our initial excursion out, so that would use 13 water, so that's a bit too much. So we'll stick close to the shelter to begin with. That's only going to use 9 water, and now you need to equip. So we're going to equip a gas mask, you need them, and we will equip a pipe, which is a weapon, and at the moment we have none of the blue items or red. Red is backpacks, carrier bags and stuff that allows you to carry more stuff. So what we're going to do is actually see if we can quickly craft. We can't craft a satchel. Let's see if we can do a carrier bag. Yes, we can. So we'll craft 1, and that will give you 2 extra inventory slots when you're out in the wasteland. So here we go. Speed up time. There we go. Okay, stats are still looking okay. It's a very short expedition, this first one. So back to Charlie again. Okay, same destinations. There we go. Confirm. Again, equip gas mask and equip carrier bag and equip a weapon. So anything that's green is classed as a weapon. Pipe and wood is also, of course, a resource to use in the shelter. And then send party. So off we go. Yes. And that's it. Katia and Charlie take a journey off into the wasteland, and hopefully we will be able to collect some valuable resources while we're out there that will help us in developing our shelter and keeping us alive. So get me to go and clean the shelter, as my stats are fairly okay for the moment. And as you can see, we still haven't had any additional rain. So building those additional water butts at the beginning, the small and the medium, has protected us from thirst and dehydration. Our cat's currently sleeping away next to its own poop. Lovely. Let's get that cleaned up. And clean up the sawdust for where we were putting the crate together, and there we go. The shelter is now nice and clean. And here comes an incoming radio transmission. So accept transmission. Stumbled across a small farm and it looks like it might have some good loot. Want us to take a look. Search location. Okay, and as you can see, everyone's stats are okay. Now we accept the transmission, so examine items. We've got another carrier bag, brilliant. some leather, some fuel, which is important for the generator. We'll take the water for now as well, because we don't know when it's going to rain again. The scrap, and the scrap is not worth anything at the moment, because we don't have a recycler, which will be later on in the game. So there are certain basic elements that when you go out on an expedition you do want to collect, and initially there is certain stuff that you might as well just ignore. So now that's your hazmat suits. You need to put one of those on before going outside the shelter up top to repair your oxygen filter and your water filter, and also for if you're putting traps or anything else at the top to collect food, you also need to put them on for that as well. So always remember, put on your hazmat suit. Now we're going to search a church. Here we go, we've got rain on the surface. The water filter is at only 32% integrity, so let's get a suit and go and repair it, because we want to make sure that it doesn't break down and we collect all of that rainwater that is coming down. So as you can see, the water is going up slowly up the right hand side, so we're up to 55, and we have another transmission. So let's have a look at what is in the church. So we have some cement that is used to expand your shelter, so we can get rid of the sand now, because you need sand and limestone to make cement, but we've been able to pick some up, so that's it. And that lens is probably worth having as well. Okay, confirmed. Now we only have 2 free slots left now, but we've only got one more property to search, and hopefully it will yield some good loot. I'm going to fix the water filter on the top there, and I need the toilet. Lovely. Desperately fixing the water filter in the rain, so the sound of rain all around me while I need the toilet. Probably an uncomfortable experience. Okay, we have another incoming transmission. So, accept transmission. We stumbled across a small house. So, search location. Okay. You saw there that the vault door was only at 35% integrity, so at some point they need to be fixed as well. Now we've got another transmission, so let's examine the items. Okay, we've got some more rations. We've got a book, a nail, a motor more importantly, and unfortunately we can't take any of the other stuff because we don't have enough storage space. So it would be good to be able to take more, but we can't. So prioritization, the nail, the motor, which we know we need for the freezer, and the cement will allow us to add another room to the shelter when they get back. So now these are very important steps, that you prioritize what you need initially to build that freezer, because that freezer allows you to put a trap on the top and allows you to catch animals which get turned into meat, which you can then use as food rations. And as food is in such short supply at the beginning, it is very important that you do this. Okay, so he's a bit thirsty and it's raining, so drink water. Now I'm off to use the toilet. And here come back the other two. Okay, so I've used the bathroom. They've enhanced their perception slightly by going out on a quest. We take all. We know we've got enough storage, and the water now is actually full. So had we known, or had I thought about it slightly more, I could have dumped that water out and taken the switch. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're just fulfilling everyone's requirements. So drinking water, going to the toilet, and everything else that uses water while it's raining, because obviously our capacity is at max. So get everyone to have a drink. Right. I'm just waiting for Charlie there to come down. Now we can build an additional room. So there we go. Let's get the work started on that. Now we're going to fix both on the top there. Obviously his toilet requirement was much greater. Now the rain has stopped, but we are at 80 water, so we do have a fairly decent supply. Unfortunately, I didn't have a shower myself before, but that's fine. We have 80 water. That's a fairly decent supply. So 2 medium and 1 small water butts gives us enough to hopefully last until it starts raining again. Now, holding down the left shift key if you're playing this on the PC will allow you to speed up time. If you're playing this on Android or iOS, you can use the fast forward in the top right hand corner just by holding on it, and that will accelerate time. Okay, so we're getting there. The air filter is okay, well, needs to be fixed. The water filter is nearly fixed. Right, need to get some sleep in, so let's get somebody else to carry on. There we go, resume. Obviously adding new rooms uses energy very, very quickly, and people get tired and need sleep. So let's accelerate. There we go, speed up time, as you can see. Sleepy there, and I'd already queued me up for repairing the oxygen filter. It now has the spanner above it because it needs to be repaired. Okay, there we go, we now have the additional room. Okay, so I can cancel Charlie's sleep. There we go, need to add fuel. Let's see if we can upgrade anything. No, we don't have enough valves. We can increase the durability, but at the moment the durability is not particularly important. You can just get people to go and fix it. So fix and go and sleep. Making sure you're keeping on top of those stats. Now obviously I'm in desperate need of a shower. All that work I've been doing in that sweaty hazmat suit, that means I need to have a shower. There goes a rabbit running past, which can't be captured at the moment. Right, her energy levels are enough. So what we want to do now is tier 2 and freezer. So this small freezer is capable of storing 10 pieces of meat. So what we will do is rearrange the shelter once this is built. So there we go. We've got someone walking past looking in the item bin at the top, but there isn't anything in there at the moment because everything is stored inside the shelter. Now if you bring back too much stuff, what it will do is it will get dumped in that bin that is on the surface, but that means anyone that's walking past can steal your stuff. Which is far from ideal. So you want to make sure you always have enough storage so that you're able to keep everything that you bring back from your expeditions in your shelter, because then it can't be stolen. I'd add some fuel to the generator as well. Okay, I'm going to go and have a shower in a hazmat suit. That's going to really clean me, but you know, game mechanics. It's like in The Sims, the original game, when they had a shower in their clothes. Okay, respond. Greetings, I'm looking for sanctuary. Do you grant such things? Hell no. There are only 4 of us and we don't have many supplies, so definitely not. Okay, right, I'm in need of sleep quite significantly now. Okay, sleep levels are quite good. Go wash out the toilet and use it. Right. So sleep. And as you can see, this perfect start. We have a good supply of water. We have a decent-ish supply of food, which is about to get better because we're about to get the freezer. And this ensures your initial survival. And as you follow this series, you will see how we upgrade, but this is what I was talking about. So a moderate snare trap. And we put that up the top. We then cancel, because she's going to need a hazmat suit. So take suit. There we go. And then resume. Okay, he's going to need some food soon. But drink water while it's raining. Right, you're fairly good there as well. So let's wake you up. Okay. Right, let's rearrange the shelter now. So the bed can go down here. Let's move the freezer up to the top. So we're going to create our kitchen next to the generator. Now that water bar at the top, so people don't need to go down another level to have a drink. And we'll move the mop next to the makeshift kitchen because we don't even have a cooker yet. Okay, clean shelter. So our shelter is now starting to take place. Obviously the second level down is fairly dark at the moment. We haven't constructed any additional lights because we haven't upgraded the generator yet. The generator is quite small. Oh dear. We have a lot of stat filling requirements here. We're red almost across the board. So return suit, eat food, and then it will be sleep once she's returned to the suit. So wait for the suit to be returned. There we go, and sleep. So you can queue up to 2 tasks at any time so that you can chain things together. Okay, George needs food as well. Okay. And of course, each time someone eats food, they leave waste behind. Whenever you upgrade something or work on something, sometimes it leaves sawdust or bits behind that also need to be cleaned up. So there we go. Charlie's going to go and clean the shelter. Okay. Wash out the toilet so somebody's able to use it again. And again, this is now stat management. And on part 2 of this series, we will obviously start further enhancing the shelter as we are able to. And I will give you tips and tricks along the way. But this has been Sheltered, the perfect start. I'm Know-It-All Gaming. I hope you've enjoyed. And I certainly hope you start playing the game, because it's so far been a lot of fun for me. I've put in over 10 hours already, and it has been very enjoyable. And generally the mechanics of this game is just very good, especially in COVID times when we feel like we're slightly in an apocalyptic world anyway. This kind of games give you that kind of fight it mentality, shall we say. Now, we visited 3 days ago. That was the unknown. Let's do it. And there we go. So we're going to add that additional destination this time. So we'll equip the gas mask, equip a carrier bag, equip a weapon, next person, same job, send them off. And until next time, have a great day.